Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving into a story that sounds almost too incredible to be true, a tale of shocking revelations, long-lost family, and the intense emotional roller coaster that unfolds when hidden secrets finally come to light. Imagine marrying the love of your life, only to discover an earth-shattering secret on your wedding day. This is the story of a young couple who found themselves at the center of a jaw-dropping revelation, a revelation that changed everything they thought they knew about themselves and each other. Let's get into it. Our story begins with two people who met by sheer coincidence and felt an instant connection. Amy and James had been drawn to each other from the very beginning. They met in college, and there was an undeniable chemistry between them, a bond so deep that it felt like they'd known each other forever. Both had grown up feeling somewhat alone, lacking close family connections. Amy had been raised by a single father who passed away when she was a teenager, while James was raised in foster care, never having the stability or comfort of a traditional family. Meeting each other felt like finding a piece of themselves they didn't know was missing. Their relationship was the first time either of them felt genuinely understood and loved. They shared similar values, interests, and even physical features, like their light blue eyes and a tiny freckle on the same spot of their left hand. Friends often commented on how alike they looked, and while they joked about it, Amy and James didn't think much of it. In their eyes, these similarities only seemed to reinforce the idea that they were meant for each other. Fast forward a few years, and Amy and James were ready to commit to a life together. James proposed, and Amy happily accepted. They felt incredibly lucky to have found one another, and they couldn't wait to start their future together. Their wedding was planned to be a small, intimate gathering with close friends and a few family members. For Amy, this meant inviting her estranged mother, Karen, whom she had barely spoken to since her childhood. You see, Amy's mother had left her when she was just a toddler, and Amy's father had raised her alone. Her mother's absence was a painful memory, and although she had occasionally thought about reconnecting, she never acted on it. However, on her wedding day, Amy decided to reach out and invite Karen as a gesture of reconciliation. She felt that it was the right moment to try and mend a bridge that had been broken for so long. On the big day, everyone gathered at a small, beautiful chapel decorated with flowers and lights, creating an atmosphere filled with love and anticipation. Amy was nervous, not just about the wedding, but also about seeing her mother for the first time in decades. When Karen arrived, Amy felt a mix of emotions: nervousness, excitement, and even a bit of sadness. She greeted her mother, who seemed genuinely happy to be there, and despite the years apart, there was a warmth in their hug that made Amy hopeful about a new beginning. The ceremony began, and Amy and James exchanged their vows. They held hands, looking into each other's eyes, with nothing but love and trust. It was a perfect moment, and they both felt that they were on the brink of a wonderful life together. As they finished their vows, the officiant asked if anyone had any objections to the marriage. There was a pause, as is traditional, but no one spoke up. But just as the officiant was about to continue, Karen's face went pale, and she let out a shocked gasp. Amy noticed her mother's expression and felt her stomach drop. She could see that something was terribly wrong, but she had no idea what it could be. Karen stood up slowly, visibly shaken, and asked if she could say something. The guests shifted uncomfortably, sensing that something serious was about to be revealed. Karen took a deep breath, her eyes welling with tears. She looked at Amy, and then at James, and in a voice trembling with emotion, she said, "I need to tell you both something. I should have told you this a long time ago, but I never thought this day would come." She paused, struggling to find the words. "Amy, James, you're both my children." A stunned silence fell over the room. Amy felt her heart drop, and she could see the confusion and shock in James's eyes. The words didn't seem real. She couldn't comprehend what her mother had just said. How could this be possible? How could the love of her life be her own brother? Karen explained, barely able to speak through her tears. She revealed that she had given birth to twins Amy and James many years ago. At the time, she was young, struggling, and unable to provide for 2 children on her own. In a desperate decision, she gave James up for adoption, hoping he would have a better life. She had intended to keep Amy, but ended up leaving when she couldn't handle the responsibility and emotional toll. The decision haunted her for years, but she never imagined that her 2 children would somehow find each other after all this time, much less fall in love. Amy and James were in shock. Their world turned upside down in an instant. Everything they thought they knew about their lives, their love, was shattered by this revelation. How could they move forward knowing they were siblings? The wedding guests watched, unsure of how to react, as Amy and James sat there, grappling with the gravity of this discovery. In the days that followed, Amy and James separated, both needing space to process the devastating truth. They were heartbroken and confused, unsure of what to do next. They had shared so much, believed so deeply in their love, and yet the foundation of that love was built on a lie neither of them had known about. They each sought counseling to come to terms with the reality of their situation. For a time, they couldn't even bear to look at each other. The pain was too intense. But as time passed, they found themselves reflecting on the unique bond they shared. Although they could no longer be together romantically, they realized that the love they felt for each other was real and profound, even if it had to take on a different form. Gradually, they began to rebuild their relationship as siblings, discovering a new connection as brother and sister. It was difficult, and the journey was far from easy, but they found comfort in the fact that, despite the heartache, they had finally found each other. They had been missing a part of themselves their whole lives, and in a way, fate had brought them together to fill that void, even if it was in the most unexpected and heartbreaking manner. Their relationship transformed into one of mutual support and understanding, a deep bond that transcended the pain of their lost romance. They became close friends, leaning on each other as they moved forward in life. They remained grateful for the time they had spent together, cherishing the memories they had created and the lessons they had learned along the way. And as for Karen, the guilt she carried for all those years weighed heavily on her. She had hoped to reunite with her daughter, but never imagined the tragic twist that would come with it. She worked hard to rebuild her relationship with both Amy and James, hoping they could forgive her, and that they could all find healing in the aftermath. In the end, this story is a powerful reminder of how complex and unpredictable life can be. Sometimes, the people we feel closest to come into our lives in ways we can't explain, and we don't always know the reasons behind the bonds we form. For Amy and James, their love may have started in an unexpected way, but they found strength in each other, even after learning the shocking truth. They learned to redefine what family means and to accept the past while embracing the present. Thanks for watching, and if this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life stories that make us think, feel, and reflect. Remember, family can come in many forms, and love, no matter how it enters our lives, teaches us lessons we carry forever. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.